Quali's a main draw match as well.
Play.
And looking to upset Tsitsipas, the Greek, to get us underway here. Imposing start from Tsitsipas.
Oh, that's
15 love.
a big advantage Tsitsipas at 6'4" has over his opponent. Lots of power.
Yeah, it's a pretty busy players' box that Tsitsipas has as well. His brother watching on, Petros, his girlfriend as well, Paula Badosa in the white glasses. Brother Petros in the light blue.
$15.
Tsitsipas win in Los Cabos, beating Isner, Jari, Chorich, and Deminor.
30.
Impressive wins there to take the title, but after that in Canada and Cincinnati, lost to Monfils in the first round, beat Ben Shelton and lost to Hurkacz in the second round of Cincinnati. So not an ideal preparation for a number 7 seed coming into the last major of the season.
$14.30.
Good start from Tsitsipas. Up and running.
First game.
Philippus is a huge server himself. Finalist here at the US Open, losing to countryman Patrick Rafter. And Tsitsipas has a lot of power on the serve, but sometimes his patterns could improve in terms of switching around, hitting some slice serves. He tries to go for the flat one a bit too much, so keep an eye on that. And young Stricker to serve.
We're working with coach Dieter Kindelman. There's Dominic Stricker.
Dominic Stricker to serve.
There he is.
See that serve a lot from the lefty to the Tsitsipas one-hander on both sides.
$13.15.
He's a strong guy, Dominic Stricker. He looks like he could play a number of sports. Linebacker.
40-15.
World number 3 junior. We set career high 106 this past month of July after he qualified for the second slam at Wimbledon. Certainly a lot of expectations, and you can see why. Great hands and good movement forward by the youngster.
One game
A
over.
very
First set.
no-nonsense game there. Wasting no time at all, Stricker. That's just one set to Popperin in the open round. He's had a busy last few days, though. Those 3 qualifying matches. He's spent a fair amount of time on these courts here now. Should be up to speed. Big booming serve. Yeah, decent crowd in. Expect it will fill up over the next hour or so.
Tsitsipas.
There we go. Both players very comfortable on serve so far. As they
Oh, beauty. Good change up there. Tsitsipas is trying to cheat a bit towards his left. Good instincts from the youngster. You can tell from the start.
Yeah, the 6th straight US Open appearance for Tsitsipas.
I think they're related. Already 25.
15-30.
Tsitsipas. Lots of expectations. Many of them fulfilled. Still a work in progress. Under a bit of pressure there. Goes to the wide serve. Gets the short return. Confident looking shot. Yes, indeed.
Clever shot. Very good disguise and change up from Stricker.
40-30.
Shot we've been seeing more and more. Look at the depth on that. Tsitsipas gets ready to defend, takes a step back and was caught on his heels.
Does well, Stricker.
2 games over.
A
First
few
set.
words from coach Dieter Kindelmann.
Auf, bleib mutig, gute Beine, come on. Let's go.
I'll do download the US Open app to follow your favorite players, track the latest scores, stats, match highlights, player news and more. Available in the App Store and Google Play Store. Well, already, we're not just seeing the power from Stricker, we're seeing some craft and
15.
creativity as well.
Good mix. Way inside the court, decides to come in right behind the drop shot. I love that play. Quick reflexes at the net. All court player, not afraid to come in as well. So that's a very interesting and complete picture of the court by him.
Left set.
Sometimes the problem is putting it together.
Fifteen on. 30-15.
Yeah, just too much behind that. One of 3 Swiss players in this year's main draw is Stricker, Husler and Wawrinka, the 2016 champ. The other 2. Well played served again from Tsitsipas. It's been a focused start from him, striding around with purpose.
Tsitsipas.
A real pop on that serve as well, so we remain on serve.
Huge back. This guy is very impressive up close and personal. At 21, Stricker is still a work in progress in terms of his physicality, and that's been the difference in the last 10-15 years. The physical work this guy's put in takes 3-4 years just to get right. In order to compete at this level, there are, of course, the exceptions. These 2 physical specimens like Rune and Alcaraz that at 19, they're completely formed, but it's different in every case. You can see that Stricker needs to get a little fitter, needs to get a little cutter, you know, and really come into his own physically. So as this match goes on, I'm going to check out what he's looking like.
30-15.
Something to keep an eye on, certainly.
He's certainly keeping Tsitsipas guessing with the serve placement at the moment. The Greek trying to get a read on it.
40-15.
They played on the grass last year, so grass is a surface that allows you to see where your opponent likes to serve at important times.
He's got that backhand locked down.
In most clay court tournaments, if they're not too fast,
40-30.
the serve is not as important. But on these fast surfaces, the importance is superior.
Dominic Stricker.
Good second serve.
Yeah, back onto level
3 games
terms
all
again.
for
3
set.
apiece. Coach likes it. First time he's played in the main draw here at the US Open. Dominic Stricker.
Tsitsipas really aggressive with that one-handed backhand cross court from the start, going to the Stricker forehand.
Oh, I thought he made it. On the stretch, Tsitsipas nearly steered it back into play.
30-15.
Yeah, the angle of the camera on this court is a bit steeper than in other ones.
Wow. Hot already.
They look like Brits. I don't know. You would know.
Does seem in character, yeah.
Just don't see New Yorkers taking off their shirt like that at the US Open.
40-15.
Well, it's not particularly boiling hot at the moment either.
It's just very humid.
Yeah.
Last night was 90%.
Yeah.
It was 70 degrees, very pleasant, but whoa, if you're one of those players that sweats, tough times.
Thirsty.
Good hands there by Stricker, able to get that first serve back, keep the ball low. That is something that not many people talk about. Yes, angles, power, but sometimes the height of the ball really bothers certain players.
That's good. Opening up, finding that forehand with ease.
Advantage Tsitsipas.
Good footwork, just to dance around and give himself some space. It's like you on the dance floor, Nico.
Ah.
Twinkle toe.
Let that pressure. And Tsitsipas.
Another held.
$15.
Surprisingly composed for being his first US Open showing. Yes, he's won a round already this year. But this is a stadium court against a seeded player, and this guy is loose. No signs of nerves.
Yeah, never broken inside the top 100, but I'm sure that's on his radar.
It's in his future, certainly, if he stays healthy. In the near future, this guy is a player. Power and touch, as you said.
Lovely serve again. 1-2-1. Just nudged wide there by Tsitsipas.
Stricker. 4 games all, first set.
Yeah, no drama at all. I mean, it's no sweat for Dominic Stricker.
I think 1-2s each.
Yeah.
Here we got the Swiss German, but on the other side, Tsitsipas is getting directions in Greek and in English, and when his mom is around, in Russian.
Keeps him guessing.
Good defense there by Stricker.
No, 15.
We're coming to the business end of this first set.
$15. $30-15.
Yeah, you can see the attacking intent there from Stricker, trying to pounce on that and find a teasing angle.
Oh. 30.
That's a big time point, that. 4-all, 30-all. Tsitsipas focused.
Yes,
47.
Stricker with the low bunt again, but very decisively Tsitsipas steps forward. Never a doubt.
Another hold for Stefanos.
Tsitsipas leads by 5 games
These
to
two
4.
skipping
First
through their
set.
service games, really. I mean, just over half an hour played. And Tsitsipas in front again. Slapping on the sun cream as well. Well, there is a different vibe, a different pressure when you're holding serve at 1-all, 2-all, and suddenly it's 5-4 against, and Stricker might just feel some pressure here.
59.
Saw Tsitsipas standing a bit more toward his right, and the last second took a half a step to the left. Stricker choosing the T serve. Very timely ace. That lefty serve curving into your body. Stefanos still manages to hit a forehand and keep it low.
Okay. 30.
Just calms things down with a well-placed serve. Out that goes.
14.
And suddenly, it is the very first break point we've seen in this opening set. And it just so happens to be a set point as well. Well done.
Lefty serve out wide. That's the go-to shot when you're under pressure.
Shout of vamos from Paula.
Smart play from Stricker. Not chancing it near the sidelines, going hard to the middle towards the Tsitsipas backhand. Stefanos just a bit late on that.
Kept his cool. Stricker fending off Tsitsipas for now.
Staying cool under pressure, staying aggressive. Gets to the net once again. Sets himself up right under that ball and hits it with confidence. Quick points out here today.
Maybe it's a tie break we need in this opening set. Might be the destination, Nico.
Most likely destination right about now.
It's not a brave prediction from me, but when we get to 5-all.
With no breaks.
No.
30 love.
Worked out well there for Stricker. It wasn't the cleanest return, but
15.
gets the job done. Did just offer the apology to Tsitsipas. Time just about gone midday here on this Wednesday. This one.
Sergio.
Great acceleration on these last two big forehands. This time he goes cross-court from inside the paint to the Tsitsipas backhand. Late again from the number 7 seed, in trouble for Stefanos.
That goes. It is Stricker who strikes.
15
Very effective with the forehand. The last couple of games, Stricker can hit it anywhere. Opened up the court nicely with this backhand. Look how far Stricker has to go for that one. Just enough room to squeeze that forehand for Tsitsipas.
Almost missed it.
14-13.
What a chance. Could be costly. Tsitsipas has had a set point. Now it's Stricker's turn.
Roman
Stricker snaps it up.
7 games.
Paolo Badosa just checking the scores on her phone elsewhere.
15 love.
Just looking at the stats.
Checking out the US Open app, I'm sure.
As we all do. Many times throughout the day. Doesn't look to have any issues physically. Just that huge miss with that forehand that clipped the net and just sat out there.
Tsitsipas.
Quick game. Maybe just a little bit of frustration bottled up in some of those serves for Stefanos.
First game, second set.
There's the team.
Stricker has become more commanding with that forehand as the match has progressed. He was not hitting it as hard. We see Tsitsipas there fixing up the net. He was not hitting as aggressively the first 4 or 5 games, but has really turned it up since.
Good from Stricker. He's going to cause a lot of people a lot of problems with this lefty serve he has.
Not only that, he's imaginative. Look, he puts a ball inside the court, not necessarily a drop shot, but opens up enough space to hit that forehand. Really like what I'm seeing. Question is, can he keep it up?
Last year tried to qualify at all 4 Grand Slam events. Wasn't able to do so.
Stricker. 1 game on, second set.
Physio poised in the corner there.
Oh, he's ready to go. One of the best in the business. And he really looks after the interest of the players. As they all do.
No, 15.
Delicate time for Tsitsipas, because you see Stricker playing with a lot of confidence. The way he's serving, he does not want to get broken after dropping that first set.
15-all. Thirteen, 15.
Gets away with that great touch displayed on that backhand, and Tsitsipas wants the crowd to get into it out of the blue. He needs all the help he can get.
He does. He's just wavering a little bit at the moment, and you can get the sense Stricker could just pounce here. That one saved it. So it is Tsitsipas who leads this match right now. A few mutterings to himself, Tsitsipas.
Clean match in terms of unforced errors, except for a couple of misses at crucial times. But it's not like Tsitsipas has given Stricker much. It's just a great tennis match, and the young Swiss star is doing his part. Be the biggest win of his career. To prove my point.
Good return that from Tsitsipas, just made it awkward for Stricker. And now big questions being asked of the young man. There it goes. Tsitsipas on the charge.
Out of the blue, a couple of unforced errors, and Tsitsipas muttering to himself at the start of this game, and all of a sudden, Stricker coughs up a couple ones.
Well, stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. Join the conversation with #USOpen.
Lots of conversations this first few days, lots of interesting matches. Have to keep your eyes wide open.
She's on the app, I reckon.
Oh, yes.
On the TikTok.
Long 15. Long 30.
Well, it might just be swinging back the way of Stricker. Love 30. An hour played in this contest.
Long 14.
Impressive reaction. After he got broken for the first time, Stricker comes right back and has 3 chances.
Yeah, not quite for Stricker. Could see a little bit of an alleyway of
14.
space.
Okay, saves the second.
30-14.
Good, daring second serve.
Nails it. That is the way to break back. And Stricker in some style.
Tsitsipas 3 games, 2-2, second
We
set.
are back on
First
serve.
set, Stricker.
What a touch that is.
$30-15.
Stricker looking for a first ever top 10 win. Has lost to Tsitsipas before, when Tsitsipas was world number 5 in Stuttgart last year, and world number 10 Francis Tiafoe at Wimbledon.
Wow.
Classy volley.
Huge difference, but head and shoulders
14,
above is
15.
beating a top 10 in a 3 out of 5 match at a major. So this would be not 1, but maybe 3 steps forward if he manages to win here. It's a long way away, but certainly the way he's playing makes you think that it is very possible.
And Stricker.
Another test passed. Ticks off
3
that
games
game.
all. Second set.
I think Stricker has found that if he really goes fast and hard to the Tsitsipas backhand, there is a liability there for the 7th seed. He's been going to the well. Good footwork there
15 down.
by Stefanos. Little short steps as he gets the short high one inside the court.
30 down.
Good pace behind that. Yeah, it's heating up out there after some rainy conditions earlier this morning. It's certainly temperatures rising. Forecast looks sunny for the rest of the day.
40 down.
Yeah, trying to keep cool. Good luck.
And Tsitsipas.
That is a rocket of a serve once again from Tsitsipas.
Now.
I think he's doing a really good job, Stricker, of just getting under the skin of Tsitsipas as well. Irritating him.
The only way I see that is irritating him is by his play.
Yeah.
He's been outplaying Tsitsipas, particularly after that 5-all break. Before that, I think Tsitsipas had a bit more pressure on Stricker than the other way around. But just impressive tennis from the young lefty. As we're about to be even at 4. A lot riding in the end of this second set.
What control, how cool is that? And a look towards his team. Go on, give me some kudos for that.
I told you I could do this all along. He was going the other way, had to stop, change directions, go forward. And look where he sneaks it in, right in the angle.
Second set.
Tsitsipas was just not expecting. He did the right thing, tried to close in here. But look at that. Couldn't place it there with the hand.
4 games all.
I wanted to see that.
just upping the ante, upping the volume here. Tsitsipas needs to do that. Both players excellent behind first serve in this second set.
Doesn't quite uncork the emotion. He tries to get the crowd engaged, but he's just playing with the handbrake on, it seems. Needs to find that other gear that great ones do.
That's okay. He wasn't entirely convinced that was landing in Stricker, but
Mr. Stricker is
I
a
think we'll get the confirmation.
right near line.
Wants to see the replay.
That's just out of curiosity.
Let's see. Yeah, it was very, very close. You can understand why Stricker wasn't entirely sure. As Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas leads by 5 games to 4 second set.
But
First
that's
set,
just
Stricker.
such a big advantage if you can see it, because it just eases your mind. Before, you would go to sit down and you would be fuming.
Yeah.
I mean, how many rackets would that have saved in my time?
Yeah, you're sitting there just thinking about it.
Oh man, instead of concentrating on the next service game, you're like, come on. Clean game by Stefanos there.
So can Stricker get back onto level terms again here?
Number 15.
Not the start he was after, a double fault. Gives Tsitsipas a little bit of a boost. The pressure just being cranked up a little bit here.
No.
Tsitsipas knows that at this stage of the second set, it will take something special by Stricker. Asked a question and now put on the pressure.
Too much power.
And that forehand to the one-hander of Tsitsipas causing some damage. Stefanos should be ready for that one right now.
Skipping on through. Swing and a miss from Stefanos. And it's 5-all.
5 games all.
Just
Second
great
set.
response to the lob 30 from the 21-year-old, and smoking it by Tsitsipas as it catches the line and skids. Great hold by the youngster.
And it's easy for a younger player just to get flustered in a moment like that, but he wasn't.
Not only flustered, he didn't rush. He played the
15.
right shots, and he played great shots. Really showing something out here today. People are going to notice.
I think coach will be very happy with what he's seeing, Dieter Kindelmann.
Wouldn't be surprised if the great one himself is keeping an eye on this one.
That is remarkable. The quickest hands in New York.
Car dealer's hand there.
15-13.
He beats Stefanos in the touch and go game. Both of them at the net. Always interesting, this sort of exchanges. Almost ran into it. Whoa. Beauty.
That's a good follow-up point that from Tsitsipas. Calming things down again.
Tsitsipas.
Good finish. And maybe just to snatch this set away.
Tsitsipas coming back with 3 straight first serves to close out that huge game. Should give him some confidence. He's certainly trying to strut it to the base, to the changeover.
30 love.
The youngster is unfazed.
A little overcooked on the backhand side this time. Oh, nails it.
14-15.
A miscue there by Stricker.
30.
He's got to keep his cool here. get to a tie break, then a huge chance to go 2 sets up on the 7th seed. It is a tie break we need. Where's this going, everyone?
Cool, calm and collected.
Second set, tiebreak.
Stricker serves his way into a breaker, playing and looking like a veteran out here. Great tennis.
What a start! Stricker, take a bow.
1-0. Stricker.
Big-time tennis from Tsitsipas.
Yep. He's going to have to play, and certainly did so. Get that mini break back right away.
1-0.
Didn't get that right.
2-1. Tsitsipas.
So Philippus is pulling out his Greek there. Love it.
Tsitsipas.
3 straight for Stefanos.
Four in a row.
4-1. Tsitsipas.
Trying to hang on.
4-2.
Not going
Tsitsipas.
overboard, going to the well with that wide serve to the backhand.
Count.
The inside-out forehand does the trick.
5-2.
Great anticipation by Stefanos. Saw his opponent in trouble way outside the court, came and cut that short. Take away the reaction from Stricker. Big lead now.
And it is set points galore. Stefanos.
Second shot, Tsitsipas.
Fighting qualities from the 7th seed. And
One set all.
Stefanos does level things up
New
here.
balls, please.
on grandstand, a set apiece.
And really came through and stepped up. Interesting one here.
Drifting up.
Hour and a half of play, and Stricker holding steady and still looking strong and loose at the same time.
30 love.
That serve is very reliable out there.
Love.
Good start.
Where I had the honor of calling his match yesterday, played lights out. Moving really well, the best I've seen in a good 3 years.
Drifting up.
Right on the money. There's a bit of scar tissue for Tsitsipas, I think, coming here to New York this year. I mean, last year lost out to world number 94 ranked Galan in the first round in 4 sets. His lowest ranked loss in 24 Grand Slam tournaments for Tsitsipas. So he would have come here looking to try and right some wrongs in his mind.
That match out on court 5, Tsitsipas never really felt comfortable. Galan played one of the best matches I've seen. The Colombian with the biggest win of his career.
I think Tsitsipas just exercising some demons from last year as he took to Louis Armstrong court again against Milos Raonic. That was the place he lost to Galan last year, and he was able to get the win against Raonic. Convincing win as well.
Tsitsipas. One more, third set.
All the best players can just turn up the dial and find another gear. Can Tsitsipas find that here?
No, 15.
Chance just opening up here for Tsitsipas. Love 30. Here he comes. Stricker swinging for the
14.
fences there. Another shout of vamos from Badosa.
Started playing more towards the Tsitsipas forehand towards the end of that second set. Been very effective seeking the one-handed backhand of his opponent. Wonder if he's realizing that.
Stefanos.
This time it is the breakthrough. And Tsitsipas
It's back to games.
He's in a good spot here, Tsitsipas. Can he just keep his foot on the gas?
No, 15.
Well, he might just be looking for the instant response here. Stricker.
It's been great back and forth since the start of this one. No breaks into that 5-all, in which Stricker got the first blood, sort of out that first set. And they exchange breaks at the start of the second. Great tennis match. Expected longer rallies coming into this one, but both guys very decisive and aggressive.
Long 14.
Never doubting. As soon as they get an opening, they're going for it. Beautiful to watch. Crowds enjoying this one, and so are we.
Break points here. Another convincing move forward from Stricker. It does break back. Wasn't behind for long, Dominic Stricker, but that's been the way in this match, hasn't it? Seesaw, one way then the other.
Great attitude from both guys, just duking it out, and Stricker comes right back as Stefanos leaves that short volley a bit too high. And on we go. Very even. As we close in 2 hours of play.
No, 15. No, 30.
Suddenly, both players being a little charitable behind their own serve. Fifth double fault for Stricker.
$15-30.
Temperatures has risen quite a bit since the start of this one, right after the rain and humidity picking up. Look at Stricker's face. A bit redder than at the start of this match. I think about turning that hat around. Punishes the Tsitsipas backhand and
40-30.
gets the rewards.
Fighting qualities from Stricker now. Both players feeling the heat here on ground. Simmering a bit, wasn't he? Tsitsipas that previous game. A few shouts towards his team.
You look at the paper and you see a 21-year-old outside the top 100 with some irregular results.
15.
He's showing his medal in the last couple of big ones, but you say conditions here are tough. You would think that nearing the 2-hour mark, this guy would start budging, but it's not the case. You have not seen one negative posture by Stricker in the whole match. He's having fun out there.
Well, that's another great one. Pouncing on the return.
Shortened the backswing a little bit there and nailed it.
30.
So good again. He's found a formula here.
30-14.
Took a half step, took the ball early on the rise inside the court and just put the volley away. How easy does that look? Trust me, it is not.
I'd love that one back, Stricker.
Yes.
I like the play.
Gotta try and stay cool here, even if you're watching.
Advantage Tsitsipas.
Very loose looking forehand up the line of a mishit return.
Yes. Advantage Tsitsipas.
Does enough to come through. A tough game there, Tsitsipas. Could be vital midway through this third set.
3 games all. Third set.
Good aggressive display of tennis by both guys. Coming into the net repeatedly.
No, 15.
Souvenir or throw it back onto court. They're just weighing out that decision.
They're allowed to keep it.
Unleashed.
Such a smooth
13,
follow
15.
through after taking the racket back, stepping on the front leg and let it rip. It was a deep forehand too by Tsitsipas. Not much he could have done better.
He has been so effective coming forward to the net today.
14-15.
He's won 27 of 34 points that he's ventured forward. There we go, nearly 80%.
Yeah, Stricker.
And this time doesn't need to come forward to the net. It's a fine ace.
Stricker leads.
It's there for the taking right now, this third set. Which player can grab it with both hands?
Get a feeling that Tsitsipas has been relying a lot on that first serve, winning over 80% of the points with that shot. Needs to get it in from here on end. And it is.
30-15.
Just as the lefty does to him on the ad side, he returns the favor on the do side.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for Tsitsipas.
Sergio.
Way off.
Even if that ball went in, I don't know if it was the right shot selection. Stricker was playing close to that baseline.
Needed that.
40,000. Yes.
Stricker being very aggressive on the Tsitsipas second serve, making him pay whenever he does not make the first.
This time puts it away.
Advantage Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas.
4 games all.
4 games all. Third set.
Bit of a desperation shot there. Had Tsitsipas away from the center, but he himself was outside the lines. Here we go.
No, 15.
Just looking for a bit too much there. Stricker on the angle.
30-15.
Great shot making by all involved, and the crowd acknowledges it. Huge first serve, 124. Tsitsipas does what he can to get it back. Great effort to reach that backhand overhead, and Stefanos with the short bounce up to the open court. He's feeling it.
Big moment here. Big point.
Left first serve.
They've been battling over 2 hours now in the heat. What a finish that is. Just when you think it might be a slightly awkward and comfortable shot, nothing of it. That is a beauty. Comes through unscathed.
New ball split. No, 15.
He's just not going away, is he? Here's Stricker.
Look at that. Almost doubling Tsitsipas on the second serve, point one. That means he's dominating from the ground. And that's what I was referring to with Tsitsipas' first serve that last time around. He better make it. He relies on it.
Just about dips in time.
The idea was right. It just floated on him, that slice. Gave Tsitsipas that little extra fraction of a second to adjust and make sure he put enough spin on that. That went high over the net. You're right.
$13-15.
Yeah, it does help. Ace number 10 for Tsitsipas.
Life it's easier with the first serve.
$14-15. For Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas. It is 5 apiece. As again, these two might just be going all the way.
5 games all, third set.
Nice depth on both forehands, and that volley right up the middle. Stricker wanted to go right back to Tsitsipas, but I don't think he had enough of a good stance to control that shot.
Now 15.
Wasn't a bad idea. Tsitsipas was behind the baseline.
Confident looking overhead, considering the stage of the match.
15 all. Thirteen, 15.
Stricker not wasting any time between points. He actually has to wait on Stefanos to use the towel.
Well, he was quickly up to it, Tsitsipas, but just couldn't apply the finishing
15.
touch. It's getting a little bit ragged, maybe a few errors flying about. Understandable. Stricker again. Is Stricker.
15 all.
Big booming serve there from Tsitsipas.
Left. First set.
That's a special return.
15 all.
On the stretch, dragging that.
Wow. Beauty.
Thirteen, 15.
It's looking like another tiebreak, Nico.
Oh, yes.
Explosive there from Stricker.
Again, bouncing on that second serve. That puts even more pressure on the first for Tsitsipas.
Yes.
You said tiebreak?
I did.
I think this guy has other ideas.
I think he does.
Remarkable play by Stricker.
And he seems very relaxed out there.
Yep, totally.
Tight.
Double
Double fault. Number 4 for Tsitsipas. Set point Stricker. Fended off by Tsitsipas.
Yes.
Extra Schritt vorne drüber, komm mal.
Advantage Tsitsipas. And Tsitsipas.
So it is a tiebreak after all.
Amazing.
6
It's
games all,
just been
first set,
seesaw.
tiebreak.
And we deserve a tiebreaker in this third set. Good for Stefanos to get out of that jam. Remember, he had a set point in that first set before dropping.
One, 0. Stricker.
It's a huge tiebreak, this one. If you lose it, you know you've got to win the next 2 sets. That's a big ask.
At this stage, they have won the same exact amount of points.
And whoever wins this tiebreak might just somewhat break the spirit of the other.
Going for a little extra on that serve.
Tsitsipas.
Trying to pump himself up.
Oh,
3-1. Tsitsipas.
Stricker's corner telling him to stay positive. Costly error.
3-2. Tsitsipas.
They're going to change ends, a little bit of breathing room for Tsitsipas, not a lot.
Tsitsipas.
Yeah, that ball was short. Strict.
Five, two.
He won the
Tsitsipas.
second set breaker. Can he win the third set breaker? Good angle.
5-3. Tsitsipas.
Oh, wow. We've seen it all here today. Great shot making.
Left for serve.
So 2 points away from taking this set. 2 points
5-4.
behind serve now for Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas.
Can he make them count?
Thank you. Six, four.
There goes one.
Tsitsipas.
Not just yet.
Okay.
6-5. Tsitsipas.
Wow. Amazing.
It is still a set point, but not on the Tsitsipas serve. Tsitsipas does take it.
7 games to 6.
Big relief, big reaction from him and his team.
No, 15.
That's neat and tidy from Stricker.
No, 30.
He will continue to play his shots, try and be attacking, creative.
There it is,
No,
Stricker
14.
with 3 chances to start off the 4th set with a big message to Stefanos Tsitsipas, and that is, I am here to stay in this match, not going anywhere. Bit of a reputation for letting go after he starts going down in the scores.
Wow.
Stand back, everyone. Lightning bolt.
Oh, beauty.
No, 15.
Got to stay hydrated, Paula.
Well, going north of 2.5 hours, you better get your water, especially if you're facing the sun for that long.
I couldn't take any chances there, Stricker. Wasn't entirely sure of his bearings, whether that was going to drop in or not.
Another booming forehand, and no
13,
signs
15.
of letdown from the 21-year-old. Quickly gathering himself to play the next point, not taking much time again. Impressive.
40-15.
Ace number 8 for Stricker.
And Stricker.
Unleashing.
Stricker leads by 2 games to love.
Playing some terrific tennis here.
Good love. $15.
Nice control.
30-15.
Tell you, fairly clean match for as aggressive as they have been, and they're even close in that one. Tsitsipas with 26 on
40,
forced
15.
error and Stricker with 27. I mean, this match has been dead even from the start. What a contest.
Again, Tsitsipas.
It does get off the mark, Tsitsipas, in this fourth set.
Stricker leads by 2 games to 1. Fourth
Trails
set.
by
Tsitsipas leads
an
by 2
early
sets
break.
to 1.
Mark Philippoussis watches on.
I would say suffers on.
Fine golfer. He reached world number 2 in the world rankings.
Love 15.
I think I'm out of famous Strickers.
If
I'm Tsitsipas, I'm waiting. I'm sitting on that backhand on that side. 7 out of 10 are going there, maybe even 8. Solid. With authority.
15-30.
Yeah, makes no mistake coming forward there, Tsitsipas. Very clean again.
30-all. Lätt för serve. Forty-30.
Perhaps he just senses this might be the opportune time to strike Tsitsipas.
Maschine, komm.
Advantage Stricker. Yes.
Great return, just gone on the front foot.
Tsitsipas
Advantage
forehand,
Tsitsipas.
just with a couple of exceptions, has been immaculate today. Especially when he's moving forward, very decisive, good acceleration.
And Tsitsipas.
He has broken back.
Two games all, 4 sets.
We talk about the qualities from Dominic Stricker, but we're seeing a lot from Tsitsipas here as well. Real grit and determination on this, the third day of the US Open. USOpen.org is your online home for point-by-point live scoring, highlights, real-time stats and draws. Do visit the official tournament site at usopen.org.
No 15.
Big matches happening all around the ground. Some big names striding out onto court. Coco Gauff with an early win today. Novak Djokovic has just taken to Arthur Ashe.
59.
First signs of frustration from the young man today. After dropping the serve that last game, understandably so.
Lätt för serve.
Been going with the second serve, especially on the deuce side, quite a bit.
Forty, 15.
That's not coming back.
40-30.
Just a great setup, and what a whip on any direction. Just check it out. Sets up early, sets the feet, transfers the weight from his back foot to the front. Beauty.
Yeah, Tsitsipas.
Gets his nose in
New
front,
balls,
Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas leads. Fifteen love.
Good placement.
Lätt för serve. Thirty, 15.
to give it a go, didn't he? He couldn't resist. And it didn't come off this time for Stricker.
You see the frustration that started 2-3 games ago now could cost him dearly, and that is what I was referring to in terms of letting go as soon as he got behind in matches, and this has been a trend of his. See, he missed the first serve again. Watch for unforced errors. Not from Tsitsipas.
40-30. Okay. Stricker.
There's no easy games at the moment.
Fourth set.
Tsitsipas all square. Trying to race clear is the Greek, but not being allowed to. Ace again. Number 18 now for Tsitsipas. Those are stacking up. Stricker on 8.
Tsitsipas.
Quick game is a very good game for Tsitsipas right now. I don't know if he just knocked his forearm.
It did not look comfortable.
Doesn't want anything to derail his progress at this stage.
No, 15.
Both guys proven to be in tremendous shape. Just a shade over 3 minutes. 3 hours, excuse me. With no shade to speak of.
Yeah, this court absolutely exposed to the sunshine beating down. Compare that to Alcaraz at this time of day, and there's half of it in the shade. Here he comes. On the prowl.
Tsitsipas.
Loose game from Stricker. But Tsitsipas steps it up.
Talked about it last time around that he was serving, felt like he was loosening the grip started
sets.
talking to himself. That is something that he will have to work on. That will make a huge difference in his career from here on in. But Tsitsipas will now try and serve his way into the third round of the US Open.
Last first set.
Well, he is determined not to give Tsitsipas an easy ride.
Love 15.
Only in the last 15 or so minutes has Stricker demonstrated his age and his ranking. Before that, he displayed tremendous ability, grit, and talent.
Randy.
There's still work to be done here.
Okay, another good backhand return.
15-14.
And why not? Let's keep at it.
Break points here for the Swiss.
C14. Left first set.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Again, the first serve bailing Stefanos out of 2 break points here back to back.
San Diego is for Stefanos.
Okay.
It's an awkward shot that for Tsitsipas to take on.
Great job by Stricker, keeping
Stricker.
that backhand low, making it difficult as we see the wind starting to blow a bit out here.
On we go. And now it's Stricker's turn.
Certainly a bit more positive than it was a few minutes ago. And for a guy like him, that's huge. You can tell he plays on emotions. You can tell by his past results in the challengers that he lets go of matches. Nothing of the sort here. Although he had his struggles, broken twice already this set.
T15. T15.
Wow.
Stricker.
Oh, he's found at another level here, Stricker. 5 games all.
So another set going the
5 games all,
distance.
4 sets.
And again, Stricker outplaying Tsitsipas off the ground. More than doubling him in points won on second serve. So Tsitsipas clinging to that first serve. Which has really been his main weapon.
Big booming serve there. 20 aces up now. Well, we've seen some great moments. There's another one.
Great reaction off of this volley
15.
from Stricker. Tsitsipas doing his thing. He got it quite well too. Kupfer with a good heads-up play.
Nervy.
T30. Tsitsipas.
It's well dealt with by Tsitsipas. Didn't get that one right at all.
Defense strictly when necessary. These two guys love coming forward. Tsitsipas opening up the court with this cross-court backhand again. Putting the pressure on Stricker.
And the whole Tsitsipas crew watching on. He's in the right place at the right time again, is the young Swiss.
Crowd loving the fire from Stricker as Tsitsipas had a huge opening up the line with the forehand here. Chose to go back to the body. Great reflexes by this young man who's orchestrating an awesome match out here on Grandstand.
Overcooked it.
Yes. Advantage Stricker.
Well, for the third straight set, it is a tiebreak we need. Tsitsipas has won the previous two.
Fourth set, tiebreak.
But his momentum just with Stricker here.
He's a lot more positive than he was in the middle of this set, so that could help him. After he broke Tsitsipas while he was serving for the match at 5-3.
for the Greek.
Cracking that forehand, wasting no time going for the open court. It's been huge for him today. Right behind the first serve.
One all. Two, one. Stricker.
Big serve.
Yep.
Biggest of the match for Stricker.
Adrenaline is kicking in.
Two all. Two. Stricker.
The door opens up here for Stricker.
Rifles a backhand return to get the mini break back.
Stricker.
Just took that point.
Just again too much behind it.
Follow.
That's how close it's been in this set.
And just separated by 3 points total in the match in favor of Tsitsipas.
Five, four. Tsitsipas. Five all.
Good time for that. 1-2-7 miles an hour, his fastest of the match. 1-2-9.
Six, five. Stricker.
And for Stricker, it is set point. His eyes lit up, he couldn't resist.
Not the cleanest of backhands there by Tsitsipas, and Stricker took his chance. His blood is boiling at the moment.
They change ends again.
The experience of Tsitsipas telling him just to put the ball in the court, make his opponent win it. And serve once again.
It is to be another set point here for Stricker.
Stricker.
To take this one all the way. A smile on the face of Stricker as he plays conductor on grandstand. Let's go 5, everyone. The match, Nico.
Oh, we deserve the 5th set. Crowd is in it. And so is this guy, Stricker, who just keeps firing away. After being a couple of points away from the loss, he manages to take the 4th set tiebreaker, and here we are starting the 5th. You can't not say that Tsitsipas did anything particularly wrong to lose that set. Just Stricker hung tight and made the shots when he needed to. Just a great matchup here in the 2nd round. Best match of the tournament so far, I dare say.
30-15.
Another bullet.
14-15.
Some of the hardest ground strokes I've seen this week.
Yeah, Tsitsipas had been the one rifling the forehand, but Stricker catching up now.
Stricker. New balls, please.
Of offensive tennis. There has been practically no defense. Points relatively shorter than the average, but it has been a grueling fight.
Schön vorne.
30-15.
You've got to have some stamina to be sitting in there as well.
And Flipper looking very stoic. But calm.
Barbadosa doing her bit, trying to gee him on, sitting alongside her mum.
More play there by Stricker, not much of a choice but to go deep. Constant communication when Stricker is on the side of his box. And at that stage, the player is not really listening.
Alcaraz Tsitsipas.
I mean, some of the shots we've seen from this young man. There's another. Back behind.
Alcaraz Tsitsipas. Yes.
See the trainer come back courtside after he showed up in the first changeover, or at the end of the first set, excuse me. Never got to attend Tsitsipas that wanted a tape job removed, but it's been called courtside again, accompanied by one of the tournament referees, Andreas Egli. He's a super referee, Jake Garner, newly minted tournament referee after Brian Early called it up. So congratulations to both of them. Good luck, Jake, moving forward. Great guy.
Break point, Stricker.
Left.
Stricker makes his move early in this deciding set.
And you can emphasize the word move. What a sprint forward. Chase down the Tsitsipas drop shot. Just floated a bit on Tsitsipas. That gave enough time to the 21-year-old to get there. Nice deep approach. Just not good enough. Early break for Stricker. As the match has gone on, his corner just increased communications. It's non-stop now.
30 love.
This is the time of the match that some of your senses are numb. And you're just going in autopilot and doing what has worked for you instinctively. For most guys. Just very impressive what we're seeing from Stricker right now.
Motors to a 3-love advantage. His team trying to get some liquids to him.
To break.
Needs a bit more.
I mean, this crowd has been treated to a great tennis match up to this point, and they're very much into it. And split, I would say, in terms of favorites. Certainly on a need to hold. Tsitsipas here.
49.
Well, that's a no-nonsense game from Tsitsipas. Did that in a hurry.
When that happens, you go, why didn't I do that my last time serving?
Well, USOpen.org, you've got to head there. Stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open wherever you head. I'm sure lots of chatter about this match right now as it is perhaps just reaching its final stages.
Thirteen, 15.
finish for Stricker. Seeing Tsitsipas leaning back on his heels, goes for the short ball. And as he draws his opponent, easily goes upstairs.
Another game closer.
As he held for 4-1, and the court has filled and emptied 3 times in the last 4 hours. This is the stage of the match that everybody's glued to a monitor around the grounds, if they're not present here on court.
A bit wayward.
Yeah, he thought about letting it bounce, and then a little bit late made up his mind to hit it. He was sitting back. Tsitsipas going straight
30-15
at Stricker. Trying to intimidate the youngster. Oh, no, don't worry. Sure. Stricker's corner has really taken the coaching rule to heart this match.
Well, he needs an injection of enthusiasm right now, Tsitsipas, because he's slumped shoulders. He's not looking best pleased. It's still there for the taking if he can just rouse himself here.
Body language in his box also not ideal.
Tsitsipas.
He's not out of the conversation just yet.
Stricker leads by 4 games.
Oh, the way this match has gone, it's been the trend.
Final set. Left first set.
He just keeps producing winners. That's number 75 for the match for Stricker. And they've come in all shapes and sizes: forehands, backhands, overheads, volleys, aces. This man has weapons.
You just think maybe he might be feeling the heat, feeling the pressure. Absolutely no chance. Well, he's just got to ask the question of the 21-year-old to try and close it out himself. And he might be doing that. 4 hours played in this match. So it is over to you, young man, Dominic Stricker. Place in the 3rd round beckons.
Stricker leads by 5 games to 3 final sets. Thank you.
He's going to have to grab it with both hands, though.
Round 15.
Tsitsipas has been here many times before. Pressure on Stricker.
It's a break point here for Tsitsipas. He's not done yet.
30-14.
Producing under pressure. Goes again to the wide serve.
Advantage, Stricker.
Over 4 hours played. And it's match point. Dominic Stricker.
Second match, Stricker.
Seals it in style.
3 sets to 2.
biggest win of his life.
6-2.
As the 21-year-old from Switzerland takes down Stefanos Tsitsipas to reach the third round of a Grand Slam for the very first time. Over 4 hours. A treat here on Grandstands. Soak it up, young man.